Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Lumineers Quest podcast where we talk everything Lorcana. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jacob.
And thanks for coming on this journey with us. It's a big episode today.
Dude.
This is our first time recording in Shimmering Skies, so I guess we have to throw that out there.
That's a big one. That's a big one. But other stuff to also that's causes this to be a big occasion.
We both just got back from Disney, which is also a big occasion.
I got back yesterday at like 9 p.m. So
you're like hot off the boat. We both got D23 sets. Insane.
That was an experience within itself.
And now we get to talk D23 announcements. We got the D23 sets. They had a bunch of announcements at D23, and that's what we're going to talk about because there's a lot of exciting stuff to talk about.
Oh, dang. I thought we were talking about the Tron Ares trailer, but, whatever. That's fine.
Well, we did have a lot of fun on Tron, but that's for another podcast that we're going to start at some point. So, okay. Yeah, we're talking D23 news. We're talking Continental/Worlds announcements. We're talking new property announcements. We're talking other kind of branches that Lorcana is splitting off into within the Disneyverse and all the above. So yeah, I think there's a ton of exciting stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump into it.
Let's do it.
But as always, we have to say thank you everyone for supporting us, and we're going to get into some specifics on that one. But had a ton of people reach out and thank us, or tell us how long they've been on the journey with us. Last episode we recorded was the anniversary episode, and a ton of people have said thanks, and we'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, everyone, as always, thanks for the support. It's been fantastic. We're now in year 2, which is also a big milestone for the recording. And with Shimmering Skies, I have to say one shameless plug as usual. If you're buying your singles on TCG Player, we have our TCG Player affiliate link in the description wherever you're listening/watching, and on our X/Twitter account. And all you have to do is buy the normal singles that you normally do, and it helps support the podcast. We were able to upgrade the equipment because of everyone doing that, so appreciate it. And if you want to email the show, there were quite a few people that did to email like thanks and congratulations for the year anniversary. You can do that at lorcanapod@gmail.com. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it, which the first thing I want to talk about is all the comments. So we have Wayne, Brandon, Greg, and Brennan all emailed in and said thanks and congrats on the full year. And I'm pretty sure I'm scrolling back through these now, but all of them were like, basically season 1/set 1 listeners like very early on, which is crazy to see. I mean, we knew we had the number, like we can see the numbers on how many people listen. And so we knew there were people listening, but the fact that people stuck around and actually enjoy it and still listen is fantastic.
We appreciate it. Like to hear that you guys stuck around during the dark ages of terrible audio and terrible content and two dudes that had no idea what they were talking about.
No card availability, which you can also throw in there. But so yeah, D4, thank you so much for emailing in and giving us a big pat on the back is what it felt like. But I do have to give a little bit bigger of a shout out to Brennan because he went into massive congrats and thanks so much, and this is good. I mean, he talked about he used to be an old Magic player and would go through the whole Magic circuit, but kind of got out of it when he started a family. Totally understand that. But now his oldest son is 7 and has started playing Lorcana with his son. Now, how cool is that?
Oh my gosh!
To get back into TCGs and playing with your family. I mean, you obviously have that experience with your dad and brother, so
yeah.
And
it's special.
Michael, shout out Michael in our local crew. He plays with his sons that are in the similar age range, which, you kind of getting them into it, getting them in the feel for it. But yeah, he just said, the podcast has been wonderful to listen to as he's slowly gotten back into it. Great conversations. And he said, we have a certain magic that you need to do this successfully. And so that made me feel really good. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It's been a wild journey and we're just getting started.
I can't believe it, dude. There's a part of it that you making top 16 is unbelievable. This for me is the personal unbelievability, that we've done this.
There's a ton to be proud of for sure.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so that's
don't make me cry. We need to move on here.
That's comments from listeners and everything. So again, everyone, thank you so much for all the support and all the praise and all of the just kind words because it's been fantastic.
We appreciate it.
Okay, so card of the week.
Oh no.
Are we going to talk? I know when I say this, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Do we talk about the sleeper now and give people the inside track, or do we kind of hold that close to the vest for now?
Let's do it. So we're one of the first ones.
Yeah, that's what I was
do
thinking too. Okay, so
Let's-
we're on the same page here,
And plus, our viewers, especially the ones that have been with us for a while, deserve it.
yeah, so we both feel like there's a slept on legendary of this set, and could be wrong. Again,
Could be wrong.
I feel like we have some better credentials behind our names now, and hopefully that lends a little bit more credibility to it. Could be wrong though. A lot of these things still need testing, and as Jake just said, he just got back from Disney, and so hasn't had a ton of time to test yet. I have tested quite a bit more, but still, in the whole scheme of being able to test and the whole viability of like long-term, like meta shifts and things like that, we haven't really gotten into it. That being said, card of the week, Jafar Tyrannical. Man, I think I said that right. Tyrannical. I mean,
Tyrannical.
Yeah, Hypnotist. So he's the 6-cost inkable steel legendary that has 0 strength and 7 willpower. Quests for 2 and has 2 abilities. Challenger +7. So on your turn, he's a 7/7, which is crazy.
Unless you're questing with them or singing with them, but
yeah, but still, I mean, for challenging, taking out Queen's Castle. I mean, that's 7. That's 7. There's like the 3.
Huge.
There's the 3 strength. That we talk about a lot. The 3. 3 willpower, 3 strength, kind of like cutoff line. Now 7, I would even throw in there as well with Castle. Castle had a massive hold on the meta last set, and he can kind of one-shot it now. And so late game, that's big. Even secondarily, though, I read this wrong the first time. I know a couple other people have but his second ability says opposing characters with 4 costs or less can't challenge. So that means can't challenge anyone. And you pointed that out to me.
So we were hanging out in a rest spot in Epcot, and we were just deck building. And I was reading through the legendaries. I'm like, oh, I completely misread Jafar.
And I sure did too.
And I'm like, Zach, look at this. And he's like, oh my lord, that might change a few things.
And tell them what happened next.
What thing specifically?
I bought a foil playset.
Oh, gotcha. I bought a playset.
Yeah, we both bought playsets at that exact juncture. But so the point is, and the way that I think this works is, Steel Song needs some big bodies to kind of close out games and to put some pressure, some challenge pressure on the board. He does that.
Yeah.
On top of that, your wide boards are protected from goats and foxes and other rush characters like Maui. I mean, obviously can still come in because he's over 5 costs, but like Peter Pan Shadow Finder, Hercules, Rafiki, the 3 cost uninkables and Ruby and Amethyst. So all of that's negated. And so does he get brawled? Does he get Medusa? Sure. But again, that just like protects your piglets, that protects your Smees, that protects your Ariels, that protects your Cinderellas, Ballroom Sensations, and everything above. Like in conjunction with Pete, which I think we've talked about too, that disables actions for a turn. Like Jafar plus Pete like locks down your board and gives you like a lot of, I mean, obviously that's a ton of ink that you have to use in one turn, but depending on the situation, you could either Pete or Jafar late game and like really put yourself in a position to get that turn to win. So it's insane.
So the playline that I thought was like, so you do your 4 singers on your first 4 turns, then turn 5 you do Pete Piglet, and then 6 is Jafar. So you do Pete to protect the Piglet from a song, and then so we can immediately quest the next turn, and then you protect Piglet from challenge with Jafar on 6.
Yeah, I think that's a very strong play. I can't argue with that at all. I think,
because Jafar doesn't have to be exerted.
No, he's just on the board and he protects all your characters.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, at that point, there might be other higher cost characters on board, but they're definitely not wiping your board. Like they're definitely not going to have enough. Like they're not going to have 4 6-cost characters on board, and if they do, then you probably already lost, and so it doesn't matter.
And Jafar has that 7 strength on your turn with Challenger +7, so you can deal with a lot of that stuff too, and continue to throw a Naveen out there. Throw an Ariel.
In one of the games I played Tuesday at League before you guys were back, he was on the board, and it took I think 3 turns for him to get removed. And I mean, that's what you have to do though. Like, what other option do you have? Like, you have to challenge into him and try to kill him or try to banish him, or he just sits there and you can't do anything. And then you play a couple Petes and then you're really in trouble. So again, could be wrong on this. Could come to find out that it's a very Ruby heavy meta and there's a ton of brawls and there's a ton of Medusas. And then, he doesn't quite have as big of a spot. But as of now, I think he's really, really, really strong.
I mean, obviously the meta has to evolve like it's been a week so far, so it hasn't had much time to to formulate yet. But I think Jafar's going to be like one of those outliers. Like we haven't necessarily seen that yet. We've seen a lot of like overhyped legendaries and they fall out over time. We haven't seen like a legendary like closest thing I can think of is Mufasa.
That's what I was gonna say. Mufasa's the only one.
Other than that, like I think he could be special. Enough to where I did invest in a playset and you invested in a foil playset. So like we think there's some legs behind this.
Yeah. Well, I hope we're right. Because we can come back and say we were on the first bus out of the Jafar station.
There was someone at in our local scene too that was very big on Jafar as well, like before even we were. So
well, there we go. So yeah, Jafar, tyrannical hypnotist, the steel legendary. Get it before he's hot. So that's our take.
He's already rised since we bought it a little bit. So
yeah. But anyways, so yeah, that's the card of the week. And news, what's on our mind? League recap, all of the above. I don't think there's a ton of stuff to talk about. I mean, again, you just said you just got back. The only real news is that, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, is the like style of testing / playing we have to do. I've actually printed proxies. I've actually like gotten proxies ready in decks to play, and I've built a bunch of different testing decks because previously I would just go online and I'd load them up and I'd roll down a couple hundred matches and call it good, and you can't do that anymore. And so I'm taking it very seriously this go around on what can I do to test, what can I do to get better, what can I do to understand the meta, what can I understand to do what's strong and what's not, and go from there, because that's what you got to do to be at the top of the game these days, because you have to have a good crew to go with. And so that's kind of the plan.
Just wait till that mobile app comes out and then we can all test together. That will come out in 6 years.
Michael and I both played a couple games of Tabletop Simulator, nice. Which was a little rough around the edges, but it's at least a game. And if you were not able to get in person, then we can at least do it with the local crew from time to time. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it for that. But yeah, we're getting into it, and I think it's time to just go ahead and dive on into the D23 news, because there's some big ones.
So what was funny was the way that this all unfolded, at least for me personally. So I knew that the panel was happening. I was at an event called Not So Scary at Disney World, and I was separated from all you guys. Like I was the only one that went.
Yep.
And I was waiting in line for the Tron ride, and I was just looking at like all the news, and that's when all the stuff started popping off for the Lorcana panel. And so I don't know if you saw it before I texted you.
No, you texted me everything. And it's hilarious because I remember exactly where I was. I was at the World of Disney where all the Lorcana cards went on sale the next day.
Okay.
And was just like update after update after update, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was wild.
I mean, I don't know how you necessarily want to unpack this. Do we do like the challenge stuff first and then like the new?
Yeah, let's just roll down kind of this list here. So, in kind of the order they talked about it. So first off, they've sold 1 billion cards, which I did the math once I read that. That's like, oh God, I can't remember, like 90 million like booster boxes. I'm probably got that wrong. No, that's wrong. It's like 1 million booster boxes. I don't remember. It's a lot of booster boxes. I'll tell you that. A billion cards. Let's just keep it at that. I'm not going to get all the math wrong again. But 1 billion cards sold over the lifetime thus far in the first year. That's a lot of cards. I mean, it's not quite Magic or Pokemon numbers yet, I would imagine, but we're definitely building a strong community. And now that the product availability is pretty much there for what we need it to be a gaming community, it's a good start of the year for year 2. And on top of that, it's only sold in like North America, so Mexico, United States, and Canada, and then like all of Western Europe, pretty much, and then a few in like the Asian, Southeast Asia, Oceania, with Australia, New Zealand, China, and Japan. So, I mean, there's still a ton of places that this isn't even sold or available at yet either, and it'll just continue to grow once that happens. So.
For sure.
It's just cool. It's just cool to see the scale of it, because you like take a step back and you're like, wow, this is like a very big community. There's a lot of pain points that we talked about at the beginning of the game, but we definitely persevered and are continuing to prosper now. It seems like so. 100,000 players globally have participated in events this year. 5,000 local game stores. supporting organized play, 76,000 organized play events, and over 700,000 event entries for all of the different events. And I imagine that's all that data is coming from Melee, the app that logs all of the different set championships and store tournaments and Winnaboxes and everything that revolves around Lorcana. And so that's, again, like a very strong competitive scene as well. 400,000 downloads of the official companion app, 170,000 users interacting across all social media platforms. So yeah, just it kind of gives you the scale of like how big this game is and how much we have to go.
I mean, I think it's cementing its name. It's not like up there as one of the big boys yet, but I think it's getting there.
Yeah, I would really be curious because I think you got like Pokemon is the biggest, Magic's I think the second
Probably
biggest.
two.
Like I think those are very easy. I don't think those are, could be wrong, but in my mind those are very solidified. Like I would imagine Yu-Gi-Oh is probably 3. I don't know where you start to go after that, but I would imagine Lorcana's probably 4, and I could see by the end of the year Lorcana's maybe 2, probably 3.
I mean, I think I would assume like Yu-Gi-Oh would be 3.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I know like Flesh and Blood is really popular.
Yeah, there's a couple other big ones. I mean, like Star Wars obviously is brand new as well. That's, I would imagine, kind of climbing the ranks. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them out there, but Lorcana seems to be doing fantastic. But anyways, and it goes into a little bit about, they talked a little bit about some of the cool artwork. They showed this really new image on like the Great Illuminary and all of kind of like the chambers within it that have to do with the different ink colors and things along those lines. So that was pretty cool.
We saw the locations in terms of like where we saw scenes and like the snippets and photos, like where that was in the Great Illuminary.
Within the Illuminary.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, that's kind of the background info, and then it got into like the two big categories, which are the tournaments, the DLCs and beyond, and then future properties. And I think future properties is where we're going to spend most of our time, but we have to talk about the regional championships because shockingly, it actually affects me. So I think it's amazing that they're doing it this way. They definitely bless the players for the European Championship. They're doing it at Disneyland Paris in December of 2024. Awesome.
Yeah,
and
that's fantastic.
For the North American Championships, they're doing it in Disneyland California Resort in January 2025. I've only been to Disneyland once in my entire lifetime. I've been to Disney World countless times. Disneyland only once, and I'm going back.
So this is the one that I sent you. I looked at it. I'm like,
Yep.
I can't believe what I'm looking at. So I
Yep.
sent him like, you're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, you sure did. And I freaked out because I was so excited. We have some family. You guys are from California.
Yeah.
My family has some family in California in that region or in that area, close to Disney. And so it's going to be crazy to go get to see them, get to play some cards, hopefully get to qualify for Worlds, which is the craziest part because Worlds is in Disney World in 2025. They didn't announce the dates yet for that, but I want to go back to Disney World. Like I want to be like the Super Bowl, like winning MVP, at the end of the Super Bowl. They say, you just won the Super Bowl. What are you doing? It's like, I'm going to Disney World.
See, that's what I tried to do with the text that you're going to Disneyland. That's what I tried to formulate
I
there.
picked up on that.
Okay.
I picked up on that. But my point is that like, I want to go, like the fire has never been burning this heavy in me. I want to go so bad because on top of that, they announced the promo cards that come along with this. So qualifying for Worlds from the Continental Championships, from those two, you get you get a whole new world, which again, that's like thematic, perfect.
Yep.
Insane. You get a promo Enchanted, a whole new world with Aladdin and Jasmine on the carpet, but like very forefront, not like the regular card.
And look what's in the background too, the Great Illuminary.
Yeah, I want that card so bad.
I think
so bad.
We say this a lot, but this is by far the best art in the game.
This is top 3 for me for sure.
Yeah.
It's just nutty, and the fact that like I'm on a track to be even like remotely close to getting it.
That's the thing.
Is nuts.
They didn't say if there were any Continental promos, so we don't know what those are.
No, we don't. I would imagine that there's something along the lines, but yeah, we don't know yet. But there is one other nugget. So I guess before I get into the big one, they did say that they're going to give out all 500 of the numbered Golden Mickeys, which I think is way more than people initially anticipated. What are your takes on how those get distributed? Because between the winners of the DLCs, there's like 100, I think we did the math on. And so that's a lot left of where they go. And so where do we think that those are going to end up?
So yeah, the interesting thing is they said like no one in the company that has made the game has any. So like they don't have any. Even the owner of Ravensburger doesn't have any of the Mickey cards.
Yeah.
So they're all being distributed to players in some shape or form. So and they were even saying like maybe even in the next years of challenges, like they'll continue to give these things out. So I don't know. I think it's a very special card. So I think it's interesting how they're doing it.
Is this just the challenge promo for the next 2 years then?
Is this like the mainstay? Like I don't know. I don't know.
But on top of that, they announced the World's 2025 World's Champion gets a 1-of-1 golden BLT Mickey that instead of the stat line and the playable card that you kind of get with this, everything under it just says World Champion. There's it does have the evasive ability, but and I guess the lore pips are there too. You can barely see them. But all the in the flavor text area, it just says World Champion 2025. 1-of-1, nutty.
I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah. I mean that'll be like a trophy for a lifetime. I mean, that would be one of those if somehow whoever wins that, I'm not even going to say if I somehow win it. I'm not even putting myself in that boat. Whoever wins that's going to be a life-changing experience.
It will be. I saw the speculation right before this was revealed that the World Champion card was going to be a Walt card. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. But I mean, this is a 1-of-1 BLT World Champion. Is it going to have their name on it? Will it have the champion's name?
No, I bet that's
you bet
that's the
it?
card.
Okay.
How do you feel about it being the same as the other ones, just a little bit different? Do you think that's fine that it just says World Champion and is the same as the the DLC winners, or would you prefer something completely different?
I was a little disappointed.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think for the first World Championships, I think it deserves something bigger.
Something completely unique.
Yes, I would believe so. I thought the Walt thing would have been really interesting. On play, 0 cost, win the game, something like that. But I think, it's not, it's such a cool looking card that it's not terrible.
Yeah, I have to say I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like it deserves a completely separate art of some sort. I don't care. Make a BLT one, but make it completely unique in some way.
Put Mini in there or something.
Yeah, but again, it's fantastic. At the same point, am I just slightly disappointed? Sure. Is it fantastic? Absolutely. But that being said, we now have everything aside from specific dates. We know it's December 2024 for European Championships, January 2025 for North American Championships, and Worlds are sometime in 2025. We don't have specific dates on those three, but everything else we kind of know now. Mm-hmm. To your point, there might be more promos that are thrown in at some point. I very much see that being the case. But yeah, we at least have an outline of what the rest of the competitive circuit looks like for this season.
It's exciting, dude.
It's so exciting. And I think I would be this excited even if I wasn't going, genuinely, because it's just cool to see the scale. We talked initially about how many players there are and how many community members and how many cards they've sold. This really gives you a very actual real feel for the scale of the game.
I mean, I'm very excited. My co-host is going to go to Continental, so I'm excited. I'm hyped.
And the last chance, we talked about this before we started. I'm 99% sure they said that at Continentals is the last chance qualifier for the last round of invites, and so I think there's a chance for some more people to jump in at that last minute. So yeah, maybe you'll be joining me last minute.
I'm trying to. We might just be going to support you anyway, so we'll see. But if there's last chance qualifier, that might be extra motivation to go.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so that's all the challenge news, all of the card promo news, all of the details surrounding all of the competitive circuit that we got. Before we jump into the properties, there's one other cool little tidbit that I think we have to talk about because it's very close to home from where we've just been. Mm-hmm. It's called Disney Lorcana Quest. and it's fan events, and they give out cards essentially to get autographs. So like all of the text boxes, all of the abilities, like the text box in the bottom of the page is just blank, so they're not playable cards. I wouldn't think, right?
I mean, so far they're only showing a vanilla card. So,
but even then, I don't know. Maybe it is maybe it is playable. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I would imagine these probably aren't playable cards. But it's basically they turned the text box into an autograph block for like character autographs. So you can take them to Disney World and you can go get Mickey to autograph your Mickey cards. You can go get Donald's autograph on a Donald card. You can go get Pluto's autograph on a Pluto card, and so on and so on. So I think that's really cool. Again, we've talked about so many times like the Disney fandom behind the game, and this is really starting to like integrate those worlds. Last week was the biggest integration of those two that we've seen, with us being at Disney World and getting Lorcana cards and opening a couple packs and getting to experience the game around the facilities and things like that. But this is like truly integrating the Disney World experience into the Lorcana community.
This and then Continentals and Worlds being at Disney parks cements it.
Yeah, it's super cool. So again, that's going to get some exposure to Lorcana to people that otherwise might not be aware of the game. It's going to get exposure to people that have heard about it but haven't had any cards before. Expose them to the fantastic art of it is and all the styles and everything. So yeah,
that's one thing to mention real quick. On our final day at Disney, we were in Disney Springs. And I went through like all the stores we were Disney pin trading. Lorcana is everywhere in the stores. Like it
really.
We went to a bunch of like all the Disney owned stores.
Yep.
And they have booster displays and booster packs by like all the cashiers.
Yeah, I mean they're in the world of Disney. It literally was everywhere.
And I'm just talking like other stores, not just World of
Really?
Disney. Like it was was crazy.
Cool.
It was cool to see.
Love to see it. Yeah. But okay, so yeah, jumping into the big news. Should we lead off with the big one and end out with it, or do we want to? Might as well.
We gotta end out with it, right?
Well, we're gonna end with it, but we have to like say what the big stuff is first, right? I think we do.
Well,
yeah.
we go set by set, right? Because we know.
Okay, that's fair.
Right.
I imagine most people have already heard anyways,
right.
but it's fine.
Yeah.
So they also laid out like the development of the game for the next couple years, and essentially what I mean by that is the properties that they're going to continue to add. They've come out and said this isn't everything. There are going to be other things that are obviously introduced and new properties that are included in feature sets that weren't mentioned. But these are the, I guess, notable ones that they wanted to share at this time to get people's hype around. So the first thing of notable talk is the next set has a nautical theme, and they showed off a bunch of pirate cards. And they're all on a boat and nautical and water.
Not Pirates of the Caribbean.
No. Pirate, like, instead of like we have Musketeer Mickey and Musketeer Donald and everything, it's Pirate Mickey and Pirate Donald and Pirate Goofy and Pirate Minnie and Daisy. So,
which they're really nice. The art is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, as always, the art knocks it out of the park, and I love the thematic elements of the different sets that you get from these elements like this, and so that's really cool to see. And yeah, so they're basically saying that set 6 is going to feature a lot of Mickey and friends as pirates. But also, we're getting Rescue Rangers in set 6.
Finally. I've been missing Chip and Dale so much. We've needed them. Now we're getting the whole gang.
Yeah, the Rescue Rangers are all there. And
Gadget, Monterey Jack.
The art that they show has them all. So
has them all on the Ranger Mobile.
Which hopefully that means they're all included. I would imagine that does. But again, no knock to them. But they said Jungle Book was coming, and we still don't really have a Mowgli card, and so
we don't have a Mowgli card at all.
Like he's in one of the art, isn't some on one of them, isn't he?
Is he?
I think he's on one of the blue cards. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he's in the art on one of the blue cards. But
gotcha. That's
what I meant. Yes, I'm aware. There's no Mowgli card. It seems like a weird misstep that you just say they're going to include the one of the Disney classics and not have the main character from it. But anyways. I digress. Yes, Rescue Rangers is fantastic. I know that's another massive fan favorite.
Coming in set 6.
Yeah, and so that one's coming in set 6, and so we know in, I guess 3 months now, right? Like that's what's coming up in 3 months. We just launched set 5, and so coming up in set 6, we're gonna have a nautical theme with Mickey and friend pirates and Rescue Rangers. So that's exciting. We got some cool stuff coming.
It's a lot of fun.
On top of that, we also have some confirmed properties for further down the line.
Yes.
So and they go really far down the line
Yes,
on a
they
couple
do.
of these, which is cool. Which trust me, it gets me hyped because I'm about to be on a pedestal when we get to the really big announcement, and so you're just gonna have to give me some time to rant nonstop.
We got you.
But yeah, the next one that they mentioned that's going to come to Lorcana in 2025. Obviously, set 6 is going to be the last set of 2024. So that, I mean, it technically could be set 7 or it could be 8 or 9, I guess. They didn't give any specific details. They just said in 2025, the Black Cauldron is going to come.
Which is pretty exciting. Like, Horned King could be a really cool card. Like,
It's definitely not one of my favorite properties. That being said, like the aura and the characters and all of the things around the movie, I think to your point, are going to be really, really cool additions to the game.
I mean, it's an animated quest film, so it makes a ton of sense for it to be in this game.
That's a very good point. What's your... Oh, man. And one of the things that we said we were going to do for this new set is talk about like a movie, like highlight a movie and like what we want. I know, and I completely forgot about this time. So let's just stop here and do it this time. So like Black Cauldron, what's the number one thing that you'd like to see from the Black Cauldron?
Horde King, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, you already kind of mentioned it beforehand, and I think just because it's the most iconic part is like, does the Black Cauldron come as like an item? You know, is that like one of the OP items that they add?
So here's the thing, the little spoiler alert, but like characters like come out of the Black Cauldron. So like there's things that get summoned from it. So like is there tokens introduced in the game and like you can like summon units from the Black Cauldron?
I mean, is it the OP item that takes over from the dime where you have the cauldron on board and you can like revive characters from your discard or something?
That's what yeah. Is it something crazy like that?
I don't know, because it feels very much like an amethyst card.
Could be an emerald card, I think.
I mean, from like you're looking at the picture and you're saying that because it's green, but think about it from a thematic perspective. Amethyst is all about the spells and like interacting with different ways with the characters and the boards and stuff. So from that perspective, I think it's amethyst. From like a true mechanic perspective,
but the art they're showing is emerald. Like that's an emerald card.
I'm aware that it's green, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's an emerald card.
Okay. I mean, I think what they're telling you there, that's an emerald card.
Okay, and maybe it is, but my thoughts are the mechanics of that, like reviving characters or something along those lines, is very much an amber thing.
Mm-hmm. True.
And so I don't think it belongs in amber because it's very much like a dark magic kind of deal, which is not up the thematic sense that you get with amber. But I guess we'll have to wait till 2025.
I mean, Hades has amber cards, so.
Yeah, and I guess he could fit in there, but I don't know. Hades is, I mean, he's,
the Lord of the Underworld.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dark, but I don't know. Just like that art does not scream amber in any sense of the imagination.
Not at all.
So, okay, so that's a new property they announced for 2025. Black Cauldron should be a good one. Like I said, not one of my personal favorites, but I am excited about the characters and the property that will get added because of that. That being said, 2026, I think, will probably be a bigger draw. Do you think more people would be excited about Pocahontas in 2026 or Black Cauldron in 2025?
Pocahontas for sure.
I agree.
Now this means that and this is exactly the way they did it in the panel. Now with Pocahontas, that means that we have all the princesses, right?
I think so. Well, Merida.
That's what they did. That's how they transition.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that too, but we'll get to that one in a second here. But Pocahontas. So, same question. What are you most excited about for Pocahontas?
Definitely just Pocahontas herself.
Okay. Well, I shouldn't have asked you first because I was going to take Pocahontas. But Pocahontas is
specifically the songs. I'd say.
Is there another property that they've added since set 1, like a new property that has had better songs? I don't think so.
A new property after set 1?
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, set 1 had Frozen and Aladdin and Lion King and Moana, Hercules. I mean, there were obviously Hercules songs after the fact, and there are new songs from those properties after the fact. But I mean, new property that has like a lot of classic songs, and I don't think there is.
I'm trying to think. What was set 3? There was some big. No. Yeah, I guess I would think it'd be Pocahontas.
Jungle Book is close, I guess, but I would consider the Pocahontas songs better than Jungle Book ones.
I would say
personally.
I mean, Bare Necessity is pretty big, but
It is. And again, I'm not saying that the song, but I think in general, across like the full property, I think Pocahontas, most people would
Probably.
consider better from a
Song
music perspective. So, yeah, Pocahontas, they have like what I think people are speculating as a Just Around the River Bend art for this. But yeah, I'm super excited for Pocahontas. It's gonna be a fantastic one. And yeah, we're starting to fill out the full princess roster. Which, okay, another speculation question: what main ink color do you think Pocahontas fits into?
I would say emerald, probably.
You're just saying that because you love emerald.
No, I'm saying like I mean, emerald's always been like more nature-ish themed. Amber, probably amber.
See, I was gonna say amber because if they really want to like roll out the princess deck and like try to make it a thing, it has to be amber or sapphire, and I think it just goes better in amber. And so that was I thought I'd turn that on. I don't know if you can hear that ding or not. I put focus mode on, and so it has do not disturb, but it went through anyways. So yeah, I would think that it's probably amber, but I could be wrong. Obviously,
I mean,
amber or sapphire would be my two guesses, just because you have Jasmine and Aurora, and what's the other big one from like I know Alice isn't a princess, but
Cindy.
Is there Cinderella in Sapphire? I was just starting to say. Anyways, Aurora, Belle. Obviously, how did I miss Belle out of the three princesses that are like the biggest? And then obviously, and yeah, I did. And Amber, you've got Rapunzel and Moana, and a couple of other big ones too. So I would say one of those two. But obviously, we've got to wait a year for that one, or over a year for that one. So that one's quite a bit further away. But all right, now we get to the big announcement, which again, I would imagine most people have already heard this by this point, but in 2026, Disney is introducing not just a new property, a new umbrella. Or maybe I should have said light. Maybe I should have said spotlight. I should have said spotlight. A new spotlight to Lorcana. And that spotlight is Pixar. We speculated on this a long time ago, and we had this conversation probably in set 1.
Yeah,
I would think.
100%.
And maybe again in set, like midway through set 2, like when we crossed the calendar year into 2024, and I think we said it's 5 to 10 years away. 2026 is coming. Pixar's coming.
I mean, I remember when the full when we started really getting into Lorcana, and I was looking through the app and all the cards. I'm like, where's Woody and Buzz? Like, where are they? And now
it's finally coming. So, okay. So here's my soapbox. I'm getting ready to stand on it. So just let me rant here for a second.
Time to sit back.
I don't know if I've said this to you or the local crew yet. I know I did online, but this is now officially the Dash Incredible home.
Yep.
I am the Dash. When you think about Dash, you think about me.
Okay.
I'm the Dash guy. We've got Breezy for Cusco. We've got Citizens of Lorcana for Flounder. We've got Hercules for Zach Bivens. Lorcana Bell for very clearly Bell. You can now think of me as Illumineer's Quest Dash. That is who I am. I am standing on this. I started the countdown day 1 when they announced Pixar. I put out the post and I said, day 1 watch for Dash coming to Lorcana. I am Dash. I hope he is the most OP card of all time. I said that about Raya. They better not let me down with Dash. I want Dash to have Rush. Of course he's going to have Rush.
Rush and Evasive.
He's going to have Rush and most likely Evasive. And I want his ability to be when he rushes in. So like kind of like a challenger-esque ability, where it's like when you're challenging, but it's like when he's rushing and challenging somebody, he gets like plus 400 strength.
So
400. Obviously, I'm being a little sarcastic with the 400, but I want him to go have like a really powerful stat line. But when he's rushing something, have like plus 3 strength or plus 8 strength or plus 10 strength, like something crazy where whatever he rushes in and hits is gone.
So I thought of this little fun mechanic with Dash, and I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay,
on it.
well, I'm the Dash guy, so it's either going to get approved or denied right here.
So he has Rush.
Yeah, it has
right?
to. If he does not have Rush, canceled. At
the end of your turn, after the end of the turn that you played him,
yep,
he returns to hand to heal.
Oh,
so he bounces.
I am so for that.
He bounces back and forth.
I'm so for that because that's thematically perfect too. Like you can never take him out, and he's there.
So he rushes out, challenges a few things at the end of the turn, returns the
Okay,
hand.
so maybe he's like a 3-cost uninkable,
Yeah,
like 5/5 or something.
something insane, right?
Yeah, like 5/5 or maybe 5/6. He's like, oh, because he still dies to Maui.
I think it'd be 4-cost 5/5.
3-cost 5/5. 3-cost.
Well, it has to be reckless then. If he's 3-cost 5/5.
But if he's bouncing back, he's never staying on the
I'm
board.
just saying he has to be reckless. Like,
But if he's bouncing back, he's never staying on the board. Like if he's coming in and challenging and leaving, then he's never on the board to quest anyways. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, sure, throw reckless in there because that's essentially what it is anyways. But yeah, and then just something like really cheap you can always just continue to throw out there and like chip on stuff that's going to just be a complete menace.
but I mean, he returns the hand and fully heals and then comes back out. Like, that's...
Yeah, and imagine if you have, it's kind of like a mini Scar in a sense that like if you challenge something and kill it, it comes right back and you can play it again and challenge it again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm so in for that.
Right?
I'm so in for that.
That's so. Do I get approved? Like approved?
Yeah,
of that
100%.
idea? Okay.
That's an insane idea. I love that. I don't know if you can hear that dinging or not. I don't know why the focus mode isn't turned on. But yeah, I'm like Dash is when you think of the Lumineers Quest podcast, think of Dash because that is now the face of this podcast.
Our new logo coming?
I honestly, I mean, we've talked about a rebrand a couple times because of the whole Lumineers Quest thing. Incredible Illumineers. Just throwing it out there. I know that's really terrible.
Illumineers, Incredibles. They share an eye.
I know. Incredible
That could work.
Lumineers. Incredible Lumineers. I mean, I'm just, there might be a day where this needs to happen regardless. And if it does, the Incredibles is going to be a part of it. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So obviously we're excited for Incredibles.
Oh, yeah, the whole family. I mean,
The whole family.
So Dash, Jack, probably Elastigirl, Mr. Incredible. I didn't say Fantastic like I always do, and you gave me a hard time at the parks. And then Violet. And not that, like, I love Violet too. Like, don't get me like Violet's not the last on my list because I don't like her. Like, they're all insane. But I mean, somebody has to come in last.
I think Violet's going to be an awesome. Like, she can give evasive to other characters. Like, while she's on board, like she's going to be able to throw evasive on other ones because remember she has the force field.
Or throw resist, or
yeah,
like,
right, resist
or something. Yeah, I initially see her as like a amethyst one. I mean, hers are purple, and so maybe I'm kind of like overshadowed by that. But again, like powers, I don't know. I guess it could be Sapphire though. You know, giving other abilities to other players on the board, kind of like your Cogs and your Auroras and Alice's and so forth. But okay, I'll step down now. Give me your most excited Pixar properties, which we've talked about them in the past. If you want to, like go get super in depth into it, you can probably go back and listen to that one. But for now, again, a lot of stuff has happened since then too. So what are your most excited characters / properties?
Mine is 100% Coco.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's going to be a big fan favorite.
Coco is going to be incredible. Also, get ready for the grandma from, not Coco, but the grandma from Coco, because her ability is going to be called No Music, and you're not going to be able to play any songs. Right?
How do you differentiate that from like the Ursula from last set?
Like, can't play, can't sing.
That's how Ursula is.
You can't.
Ursula just can't sing? Okay.
Can't exert to sing songs.
So you're just saying you shut down singing in general.
She's straight up no music. That's her ability.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense.
Also, like, we're dealing with like the land of the dead here too. So like, there could be some fun mechanics wise there. You got like all the Alabrijes. Like, so Dante might have some cool stuff. Like, there's a lot of really fun characters. Like,
I mean,
they could work in there.
And songs, obviously.
Incredible songs. Like, that's the main. Like, we're not gonna get a lot of songs from Pixar. That's gonna be where a lot of them are gonna come from.
Well, I think we'll get more than you realize. I mean, You Got a Friend in Me, from Toy Story is obviously a big one.
I don't like. There's like one or two. Like, Just Keep Swimming is one that I thought of. Like, it's gonna be.
I think you're definitely right. Like, it's not known for like the musical aspect near as much as Disney, but there will definitely still be songs. But Coco is definitely a big one out there. But okay, so we got to roll off the big ones. Woody, Buzz, you already mentioned those. Those are obviously massive. The Incredibles we talked about. Cars, I think a ton of people are excited for Lightning and Mater.
Ratatouille
is a huge one.
Up.
Carl, Doug,
Kevin.
Kevin and Doug have to be the two biggest ones for me, and from within that property at least.
I mean, Russell too. I think would be fun as well. But
Well, we didn't even mention Russell, but obviously Russell. Trying to think, Monsters. Monsters is going to be massive. Like Sully, Mike, Randall, Roz. Like there's a ton to do within the Monsters. Boo, obviously. Yeah. And there's a ton to do within the Monsters universe. So I would think that the Monsters would be a really pretty big one too. My sleeper, however, from the Pixar universe. Do you know what I'm going to say?
I don't think so.
Onward.
I hope so, dude.
Dude. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be some insane synergies between the brothers.
I hope so. So like, this is getting a little personal, but like I legit think Onward like helped my relationship with me and my brother. So I have a huge connection to that movie. So like, if the brothers have like the best synergy ever, I might get emotional playing them. So hopefully they work really well together. Like,
I mean, Ian and Barley are maybe two of my favorite characters. Yeah, I mean, in Pixar, agree. Like they're just. I mean, it's a great story. It's a great movie. It kind of got its legs cut out from under it, pun intended. I mean, I know like their dad only had their legs left, and so it's kind of backwards. But my point is like that came out like right before COVID.
It came out during COVID, like at the beginning. Like
I mean, like before everything was like national shutdown, like all that stuff, and you can't go to movie theaters anymore. And so I think it would have done a little bit better and had potential for like a bigger universe. But Ian and Barley, like Ian is going to be a massive amethyst spellcaster, like massive amethyst spellcaster.
I was thinking like Manticore too. She's going to be
Manticore,
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm talking about just the two main characters that I love, but Manticore is insane. I mean, their dad has to be in it too, in some sort of fashion.
For sure.
Right?
Their mom is a beast too. She's a warrior. So.
Yeah, I mean, their mom has to be some sort of like massive support character.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
So that's my sleeper. Obviously, I think we can go through like the whole, like Inside Out just had a massive movie release that was incredibly well received, incredibly fantastic. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it too. I mean, it was an incredible movie. Loved it so much. Like all of the emotions. Like again, a massive amount of characters.
I will 100% play an anxiety deck. Like I just I just need an anxiety deck.
One of my what was the name of the movie? Disney Sorcerer's Arena? Is that what we played?
Yes, that was the game.
Yeah. So one of my favorite first characters in that game was Rage. Or Anger. And yeah, I just want him to again have some like massive on like deal like 50 damage to one character on play. Like just on play, just like blow somebody up.
I remember in Disney Sorcerer's Arena, one of his like main abilities that attacked everyone and his head went on fire. The name of it was like, like the curse words, like where it's like hashtag @
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I need that to be one of his abilities. Like,
yeah. Or like some flavor text or something on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, there's so much potential now.
Bugs Life. I got to shout out my dad for Bugs Life. That's going to be like one of his favorites.
I mean, Flick's going to be a massive one too.
And Hopper. Yeah. Those are going to be huge.
But anyways, the crazy thing is like we still have Pocahontas, we still have Rescue Rangers, like we still have all of these other massive Disney properties that we haven't even gotten to yet, and now we're adding Pixar. Things about to get crazy.
I mean, they didn't even mention things like Lady and the Tramp. Like we don't have Lady and the Tramp. We don't have like. So here's the
Aristocats.
Like, I'm gonna throw out Tarzan just because, but like
I know we've talked about that. I don't think it happens, but
they just released new pins at the parks.
Okay, I mean that genuinely is something.
Like it was the day we were leaving, a new release just hit for Tarzan pins.
Wow, genuinely like that is actually something.
So
interesting.
It was like it was the anniversary. I think it was like 35th, 25th anniversary.
Aristocats though.
Aristocats. Yeah.
Lady and the Tramp is one of my favorites for sure. Yeah, so I think there's just a ton of new stuff. So anyways, all I'm trying to say is as we wrap this up, there's so much more potential to come, and Pixar is insane, and I could not be more excited. But yeah, I think that anything else about Pixar that we haven't talked about?
I mean, my dad is going to be like super excited about Good Dinosaur too. I know that everyone hates that movie and no one likes that movie, but Good Dinosaur, that's going to be. I
haven't watched, or I didn't watch that one until we started doing the trivia nights, and then when we did the Pixar trivia night, I watched it, and it's not like it's not a bad movie. It's just not like it's just kind of like a journey story.
Yeah,
So there's not
like-
like just nothing like crazy special about it for me.
I mean, I'd be interested. Like, do they do the Pixar shorts? I didn't even think about that. Like Lava.
Bao, is it Bao?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Bao it probably has to be like the most recognizable one. I guess is the best way to put
I
it.
mean, like Lexo Jr.
Yeah, I mean, and like do they do the Pixar lamp? I mean, I know,
That's
I know,
Lexo.
I know. But I'm saying for people that might not know that.
What's the chess player, the old man, Gary? Is it? What's his name?
I don't remember.
Oh God.
I know, but there's so many like other things around the movies too that they could do.
Man, I'm
Elementals Elementals was a Disney one, wasn't it?
Pixar.
Oh, it was Pixar?
Was it?
I don't remember.
Crap.
I think it probably was Pixar actually.
I haven't seen that movie. I need to watch it.
It's a good one. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it's Disney because I remember thinking like this is very similar, like kind of look and feel to Inside Out, but it was Disney. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyways, Pixar is going to be insane.
Soul and Luca, to shout out some new ones. Turning Red, like those are new ones that they could throw in there.
Yeah, I've seen all of those too. Soul, I think it was a really good movie. I just didn't have like a strong connection to it. I like music, but not, I mean, I guess we're talking about songs and music. I mean, that'd be a fantastic one for that.
For sure.
Luca, I did like a lot. Turning Red, I thought was fine. But yeah, I mean, there's so many classics, obviously, with all the Toy Stories. I mean, we talked about Woody and Buzz, but Rex and Potato Head and Jesse and Zurg. I mean, Zurg,
Lotso, like,
Lotso, yeah.
Gabby, like some fun character. Forky,
Yeah,
there's a lot of fun ones.
There's, I mean, obviously, there's a ton of characters throughout that.
Do we get Barbie and Ken somehow? There's no way that works, right?
No, I doubt it
There's
because
no
they
way.
definitely. And I said Potato Head, but even Potato Head's a
Yeah.
licensed character, so I would imagine probably not Potato Head either. But I mean, there's just so many. I mean, Frozone, and we didn't even talk about like any of the secondary characters in any of these movies.
Because there's enough
There's
from just the main characters.
I know, but
they're-
but think about the best cards today. Like they're always like the
Bucky.
support or behind the scenes, like Bucky, Flaversham, Tamatoa. I mean, Tamatoa is obviously a massive character, but he's still not like the main character in the movie.
let me ask you this: the set that Pixar's introduced in, is it just Pixar?
No,
I think
no.
it should be.
It would that would be cool.
The set is just Pixar.
I mean, that could be like the theme, I guess, of the set would be Pixar. I'm not saying I don't want that. I'm saying I don't think it happens, but I'd be down for it.
I mean, we didn't even mention Brave, dude. Like Merida.
Oh my
like,
God, that's the whole point.
that's the huge one.
Yeah, we're getting to the end of this now, but
This
we have
is-
to
this
take a
is
step.
big.
We have to take
This
a
is
step
big.
back on that one because we said that they would enter the Pixar realm through Brave and Merida because she's the last princess, and we already alluded to that and completely forgot to talk about it because we're terrible podcasters, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Merida and Brave, like, and Hamish, Hamlet, and God, I can never remember her brothers' names. Hamish, I know they're all H's. Hamish, Hamlet, and Harnish. I don't know. I'm making stuff up now. I know they're all H names, but yeah, Merida is 100% going to be towards the beginning of the Pixar realm.
I mean, I would think so. Like her in Toy Story.
See, okay, last point, and then we'll wrap this up. I don't think they come out with like all the heavy hitters. I think they come out with like
Toy Story Incredibles Brave, I think.
I think they do like monsters and cars.
But see, like honestly, with Pixar, I don't think they could. Like, there's not a bad choice. Like,
No,
whatever they
there's
come out with-
definitely not. But my point, like, Toy Story is clearly like the pinnacle of Pixar, right?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean your favorite or my favorite. I just mean in general, like the most recognizable, the most
100%.
successful. So like that, I don't think they just come out guns a-blazing with Toy Story. I think they do that a couple sets in to get people because regardless of what they do when they do Pixar, everybody will be excited. If you just do Toy Story at the beginning, then like the excitement's through the roof, and then everything after that's kind of like cool. But if you do something else, I know I can see you want to say something. Let me finish real quick. If you do something else for like 2 or 3 sets and then release Toy Story, that hype explodes back up again. That's the only reason I say that.
When you make a Disney game, one of the first characters you add in the game is Mickey. If you're adding Pixar to a game,
That's a good.
one of the first
that's a good
characters you have
argument
to make
too.
is Woody.
That's a good argument too. I mean, I can't
mean-
disagree with that.
Like, I think you have to do it the first wave.
Okay, that's fair. All right, I think that kind of wraps this one up. I mean, God, there's just so much cool stuff coming, and it just is so exciting to see everything that we're gonna get in the next couple of years.
I mean, when I saw that, like I was flabbergasted. Like, oh my gosh, they're actually doing it. They said it's the number one question they get asked all the time is when is Pixar coming?
I believe it because there's so. I mean, as we just said, like there's not a miss. We didn't even talk about Finding Nemo.
Oh God.
Which again, I'm not getting into it. I'm just the point I'm trying to make is there's so many good ones. There's such a deep catalog of characters and songs and locations and items and you name it. It's all there.
I think we actually did just name every movie. I can't think of one we didn't hit.
I'm sure we missed something, but
we're gonna miss a big one.
But anyways, yeah, it's gonna be fantastic for sure. So a lot of exciting times ahead. Gonna be a fantastic ride on the Lorcana expansions, and will be tons of fun. And we'll definitely be here talking through it as they come. So I think that wraps us up for this one. Appreciate everyone listening, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye, guys.